For nearly 70 years, a V8 engine has sat under the hood of America's favorite work trucks. And now, General Motors is about to shake things up again. The company is preparing to launch one of the boldest gasoline engines it has built in a generation, a reworked V8 for the Chevrolet Silverado. On paper, it sounds like a dream for truck fans. More horsepower, more torque, better towing numbers than almost anything else sold in this class. Because if these reports are accurate, GM isn't just building another V8, it may be making the biggest gamble in modern truck history. And there's one reason behind this engine that almost nobody is talking about. By the end of this video, you'll understand why experts can't agree on whether this could become GM's next legendary V8 or one of its biggest mistakes. To understand why this engine matters, look at where it came from. Chevrolet's V8 lineup has a long history, from the workhorse 5.3-liter to the muscular tow-ready 6.2-liter, back to the legendary 350 small block that helped define what an American truck sounds and feels like. GM's small block architecture is often ranked among the most successful engine designs ever produced. Longtime powertrain expert David Cole, who once chaired the Center for Automotive Research, has noted that this family has kept evolving for decades, remaining one of the most efficient, dependable pushrod engines ever built. That's the bar the new engine has to clear. But here's where things start getting interesting. GM isn't simply updating an old engine. According to industry reports, it may be preparing something much larger than anyone expected. So what exactly has everyone talking? The answer isn't just more horsepower. It's the size of the engine itself. GM hasn't confirmed the full spec sheet, but industry reports point in one direction: bigger displacement, more towing power, smarter fuel management, and possibly the largest gasoline engine the Silverado has seen in years. Some sources are even floating a displacement close to 7 liters, which would make it one of the largest gas truck engines built in years, a genuine alternative to diesel for buyers who want big pulling power without the extra maintenance. Analyst Sam Fiorani of Auto Forecast Solutions has suggested a large gas engine can still make sense in heavy-duty work, especially for customers who value simple, predictable upkeep. Still, going bigger brings its own problems, but that's only half the story. Why build a larger engine now? Because the towing and horsepower race among truck makers has never been more intense. Ford's 7.3-liter Godzilla V8, Ram's high-output Hemi options, and diesel engines like Duramax and Powerstroke are still pulling serious numbers. A bigger gas V8 could let GM match or beat those figures, offer a cheaper alternative to diesel, keep the classic V8 identity alive, and boost confidence for anyone hauling heavy loads. For someone towing a loaded trailer through mountain grades or hauling equipment every day, horsepower is only part of the story. What really matters is effortless low-end torque and the confidence that the engine won't flinch under pressure. But bigger doesn't mean better in every category. Here's the surprising part. The first major worry is fuel economy. Truck buyers love power, but nobody loves paying for gas, especially fleet owners running these trucks daily. Even with newer tech like direct injection, cylinder deactivation, and variable valve timing, a larger engine will still burn more fuel than a smaller turbocharged option. More friction, more fuel appetite. Engineer Jim Hall, who runs 2953 Analytics, makes the point plainly. No matter how advanced the systems, a bigger engine simply asks for more. And surprisingly, fuel economy isn't even the biggest concern. The next issue could be even harder for GM to solve: regulation. The auto industry is facing some of the strictest emission standards in its history, with federal regulators pushing automakers toward lower emissions and higher fuel economy across their lineups. A large displacement gas V8 could struggle to hit those long-term targets. Energy policy researcher Dr. Karen Sullivan notes that automakers are stuck balancing customer demand against regulatory pressure, and that big engines will face real challenges under future rules. So, is GM really building this engine to last through the next decade, or just to survive the next few years? But here's something that surprised even some industry analysts. Despite all the headlines about electric trucks, GM appears to believe there's still a huge opportunity for a new gasoline V8. So why would they make that bet now? Then there's the question nobody inside the truck industry can ignore anymore: the electric shift already underway. GM has poured billions into its Ultium electric platform, which powers the electric Silverado, offering massive torque, near-silent driving, zero tailpipe emissions, and lower maintenance needs. So why launch a brand new gas V8 at the same time? Consultant Mark Wakefield from Alex Partners believes it comes down to where the market actually stands. Electric trucks are growing fast, but gas and diesel trucks will still dominate sales for years, especially in commercial fleets, since charging networks, battery costs, and towing range remain real obstacles. Combustion engines aren't going anywhere just yet. This is where things change. One thing working in GM's favor is its pushrod design. Unlike competitors using overhead cam engines, GM's pushrod V8s are smaller, cheaper to build, strong on torque, and proven to last. Automotive historian John McElroy has said GM has taken the pushrod V8 about as far as it can go, calling it simple, powerful, and highly effective for truck use. Some critics, though, think the design is bumping up against its technical ceiling. Think about that for a second. An engine architecture that traces its roots back decades may still be competing with some of the newest powertrains in the world. That's a remarkable achievement, and it's one reason GM hasn't abandoned it. Can new technology rescue the big V8? It might help. GM already uses dynamic fuel management to run the engine on fewer cylinders when full power isn't needed, and better combustion chamber shapes and injection could squeeze out more efficiency. Then there's hybrid assistance, which some experts see as the real future, pairing a V8 with electric motors for extra torque at low speeds while improving highway efficiency. Powertrain expert Dr. Peter Rawlinson argues hybrid systems can extend a combustion engine's life by easing its workload and boosting overall efficiency. But there's another reason this matters. Surveys keep showing the same buyer priorities: reliability, towing strength, durability, easy maintenance, and long service life. Areas where big, naturally aspirated engines have historically excelled. For a lot of buyers, a big V8 isn't just about the horsepower number, it's about trust. A contractor hauling gear across 3 states probably cares more about consistent performance than the latest piece of cutting-edge tech. There's also something harder to measure: culture. For plenty of Americans, the V8 represents mechanical toughness and a connection to decades of American engineering. Killing off the V8 entirely risks alienating customers who have stayed loyal to these trucks for generations. And that emotional pull is part of why automakers keep investing in V8s, even as the industry leans electric. And here's where GM's decision becomes fascinating. Every major truck maker is betting on a different future. Ford leans on turbocharged EcoBoost engines and hybrids. Toyota ditched its V8 entirely for a twin-turbo V6 hybrid setup. Ram is exploring its own mix of electrification and alternative engine designs. GM going bigger with a traditional V8 could be read as a statement of confidence in old-school truck engineering, but it will only truly pay off if the engine actually delivers. Now imagine if the rumors are even close to accurate. The performance numbers could surprise a lot of people. If the displacement rumors hold true, analysts are speculating this engine could land around 450 to 500 horsepower, north of 500 pound-feet of torque, and a real bump in towing capacity, putting it near the top of the gas truck performance charts, though final numbers will decide how it truly stacks up. Looking at the bigger picture, GM appears to be running a 2-track strategy, investing heavily in electric trucks on one side while pushing advanced gas engines on the other. That's really just a reflection of reality, since the shift to electric vehicles will take time, and millions of truck owners still depend on gas or diesel power daily. Offering both lets GM serve very different customers at once. So after all the rumors, expert opinions, and industry trends, one question remains. The success of this new Silverado V8 comes down to a handful of factors: real-world fuel economy, durability under heavy loads, compliance as emissions rules shift, and whether customers actually want it. If this engine delivers the power, durability, and efficiency buyers expect, it won't just strengthen the Silverado, it could extend the life of the American V8 for years to come. But if it falls short, critics will point to it as proof that the industry's future has already moved on. Whether this engine becomes the next legendary GM V8 or one of the final chapters in the era of big American gasoline engines will depend on what happens over the next few years. If it delivers the power, reliability, and efficiency buyers expect, GM could prove there's still plenty of life left in the traditional V8. But if regulations tighten faster than technology can keep up, This could be remembered as one of the boldest and riskiest bets GM has ever made. Either way, the gamble that began at the start of this story is about to be tested in the real world, and truck buyers will ultimately decide whether it was the right one.